Rumpelstiltskin. Once upon a time there was a miller who was poor, but he had a beautiful daughter. The miller needed to speak with the king, so he decided to use his daughter as an excuse to appear important. He told the king that his daughter could spin straw into gold. The king asked the miller if this was true, and he said that it was. If his daughter was as clever as he said, then she should come to the palace the next day and show the king her skills. The girl was brought to the king's palace, where he took her to a room full of straw. He gave her a spinning wheel and a reel and told her to begin spinning. If she did not complete the task by the next morning, she would die. The king locked the girl in the room and left her alone. She sat there, wondering what to do. She had never heard of spinning straw into gold before, and she had no idea where to start. She grew more and more frustrated until she began to cry. Suddenly the door opened, and someone entered the room. A little man came and said, "Good evening, Mistress Miller." "Why are you crying?" he asked. "I have to spin straw into gold, but I don't know how," the girl replied. The man said, "What will you give me if I spin the straw for you?" The girl offered her necklace. The man took it, sat in front of a wheel, and started spinning. After 3 turns, the reel was full. He put another one on and spun 3 more times, then another and another. It went on like this until morning, when all the straw had been spun and the reels were filled with gold. By daybreak, the king was there. He saw the gold and was amazed and delighted. But his greed grew even stronger. He took the miller's daughter into another room filled with straw, which was much larger, and told her to spin it all in one night. If she didn't, she would lose her life. The girl didn't know what to do. She cried and cried. The girl opened the door, and a little man appeared. He asked what she would give him if he spun straw into gold for her ring on his finger. The girl answered, and the man took the ring and began to turn the wheel. By morning he had spun all the straw into glittering gold. The king was delighted, but he still did not have enough gold. He took the miller's daughter to a larger room full of straw and said she must spin it too. If she succeeded, she would become his wife. Even if she was a miller's daughter, the king thought she could not find a richer wife in the world. When the girl was alone, the mannequin came again and asked what she had to give him this time. She had nothing left to give. The girl promised him if she became queen, her first child would be his. She thought it would never happen, and not knowing how else to help herself, the woman promised the mannequin what it wanted. For that, it once more turned the straw into gold. When the king came and found everything as he wished, he took the woman in marriage, and the pretty miller's daughter became a queen. A year later, she had a beautiful child. She never thought about the mannequin, but suddenly it appeared in her room and asked for what she had promised. The queen was horrified and offered the mannequin all the riches of the kingdom if he would spare her child. But the mannequin refused, saying that something living was more precious to him than all the treasures in the world. The queen began to cry, and the mannequin felt sorry for her. He gave her 3 days to find out his name. If she did, she could keep her child. The queen thought of all the names she had ever heard, but she couldn't find the right one. So she sent a messenger to ask for help. The country was searched far and wide for any other names, But when the mannequin arrived the next day, she began with Caspar Melchior Balthazar. She tried all the names she knew, one after another, but the little man always replied that it was not his name. On the second day, the woman made inquiries in the neighborhood about the names of the people, and she repeated the most unusual and curious names to the mannequin, such as Short Ribs, or Sheep Shanks, or Lace Leg, but he always said it was not his name. The third day, a messenger returned and said that he had not found a single new name, but as he came to a high mountain at the end of the forest, where the fox and hare bid each other good night, he saw a little house with a fire burning in front of it. Around the fire, a very funny little man was jumping. He hopped on one leg and shouted, "Today I bake, tomorrow I brew, the next I single quotes, LL ... I am glad that no one knows that Rumpelstiltskin is the name of the young queen's child." You can imagine how happy the queen was when she heard this news. Soon after, the little man entered and asked the queen what his name was. At first she said his name was Conrad. Then she said it was Harry. Finally, she guessed that his name might be Rumpelstiltskin. The little man was angry and cried out that the devil had told him that. In his anger, he plunged his right foot into the ground so deeply that his whole leg disappeared. Then, in rage, he pulled at his left leg so hard with both hands that he ripped himself in two.